I guess not all that surprising, but now we've got some backing on it from Mike Giardi, who wrote a column yesterday. Giardi spoke to multiple sources. He is in Mobile, about how they view New England's offensive coordinator vacancy. They've had 11 people interview for it. Giardi says, talking to league sources, there's a lot of hemming and hawing about the quality of the position. Here's a quote. Their best playmakers is 6th round Lilliputian, Pop Douglas. Sure. Where do I sign up? Says another one. What does Mayo want them to be? I don't know that anyone knows the answer yet. And one more quote. The job looks worse on paper than it did a year ago when Billy took over. The quarterback can't play. They did what with Juju Smith-Schuster and Devontae Parker? They have some key free agents. It could be rough if they don't hit a home run in the draft. Some of the names they've spoken to drew shrugs from sources I've talked to here in Alabama, meaning...
Well, Curran said...
nobody wants it, and the people they have talked to, people are like, I guess you're going to get back.
Tom Curran has come out and stated what John and you have been there too, what we've been stating for years is that this offense is many, many, many years away. Mm-hmm. Like this offense is not a draft a quarterback and here we go. You have to add enough talent. And I tell you what, man, I know you got a lot of money. If you just go out and throw a bunch of free agents at this offense, you're really going to screw everything up again. You got to draft offense. You got to draft. You got to hit on a couple drafts in a row. This team is a long ways from being good. And in anyone, you just saw Ben Johnson, because I guess he's asking for a ton of money, but you just saw Ben Johnson while the Commanders were literally in the air flying to him. They're talking to Aaron Glenn too, but the Lions defensive coordinator, Ben Johnson's the Lions offensive coordinator. He's turned them all down for head coaching jobs. But if you are someone who wants eventually to be a head coach and you're taking an offensive coordinator job, obviously you have to thrive in that offensive coordinator's job, and you just aren't going to do that here. So your candidates are either going to be old guys finishing their careers or really inexperienced guys that maybe have never called plays. Now, here's the problem. You've hired a defensive head coach who's never been a head coach before and has, quite frankly, limited coaching experience, if I could be so frank. And I don't want to offend anyone. But and so you need someone offensively to, like, take the whole side of the ball and take it over.
This is
so
mine.
If you have a guy with like
this is mine. Leave me alone.
Right, and if you have a guy with like 1 year's coaching experience that's never called plays,
yeah, and that's everywhere.
A big issue.
That's everywhere, up and down the organization. I mean, the Patriots could have a significant problem, and you're right. The job is not that attractive, so I'm not surprised that no one with any experience is going anywhere near it.
Okay, knowing what you know about the NFL, if I've gotten my way into the NFL and I'm like in the McVay coaching tree or the Shanahan coaching tree, like I'm like a guy who feels like I'm a couple years away from being like a hot ass head coaching candidate, 2-3 years away. What would you take the Patriot offense coordinator job?
No,
or would you stay where you are and wait for something better to open?
I would ask them, well, what are you doing with before I took the job? I said, okay, what are you doing with the number 3 pick? Are you going to get me a quarterback? Are you going to get me a rookie quarterback that's mine that I can sit down with and say, okay, let's play the offense to your strengths? Or are you going to trade down and take a tackle and stick me with Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi? That's what I'm
not coaching Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi.
Well, I mean,
I'm not doing it.
But you understand, that's the first order of business when I sit down with Gerard Mayo. What are you guys doing with the number 3 pick?
If they're not taking a quarterback with the number 3 pick, or even if they are, the best thing they might be able to do is get Josh McDaniels. I mean, Josh McDaniels, I think, is a good offensive coordinator. He obviously worked with Mac Jones.
Are you going back to that Josh McDaniels offense, or are you going to the McVay thing?
But if I literally can't, and by the way, I don't have to commit to him for like ever. But if I literally can't get anyone with play calling experience to come in here and coach my offense, then yeah. I mean, do you want to get a college guy? And what college guy is going to leave? I mean, you'd have to get a college guy from like
They just
Indiana.
They're not going to get a college guy. They just interviewed 11 NFL assistant coaches. They're not going to get a college guy.
All right, we'll see.